Good morning. How are ya? Um, I'm reading the Bible. My name's Kevin. It's a daylight savings, so I have an extra hour. You know how we're going to use that extra hour? We're going to find God. Give me that old time religion. Give me that old time religion. That old time religion is good enough for me. It was good for the Hebrew children. Good for the Hebrew children. It was good for the Hebrew children, and it's good enough for me. Yeah, it's a good time to get Jewish when people are being anti-Semitic. It's kind of my thing, is to do whatever people say to not do. So yeah, we're going to convert to Judaism right now. 5 kings defeated. We got to defeat 5 kings. Impressive. Josh, killing all sorts of kings. I don't know if he kills them. We'll see. These 5 kings fled. Okay, so Joshua just returned all Israel with him to the camp at Gilgal. That's where we are, Gilgal. 5 kings defeated. Spoiler, these 5 kings fled and hid themselves in the cave of Makkedah. And it was told to Joshua, the 5 kings have been found hidden in the cave at Makkedah. And Joshua said, roll great stones against the mouth of the cave and set men by it to guard them. But do not stay there yourselves. Pursue your enemies, fall upon their rear. Do not let them enter the cities, for the Lord your God has given them into the land. When the Lord, here, we need more light. Let there be light. When the Lord. Okay, roll great stones against the mouth of the caves, guard them, pursue your enemies from the rear. Don't let them enter the cities, for the Lord your God has given them into your hand. When Joshua and the men of Israel had finished slaying them with a very great slaughter, until they were wiped out, when the remnant which remained of them had entered into the fortified cities. Okay, so there's one person left over they haven't killed yet. All the people returned safe to Joshua in the camp at Makkedah. Not a man moved his tongue against any of the people of Israel. Then Joshua said, yeah, you killed them all. There's nobody to move their tongue. Then Joshua said, open the mouth of the cave. Bring those 5 kings to me from the cave. And they did so, and brought those 5 kings out to him from the cave. The king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, Jarmuth Road. Can we get Jarmuth Megan here? The king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon. And when they brought out the kings to Joshua, Joshua summoned all the men of Israel and said to the chiefs of the men of war who had gone with him, said to the chiefs of all the men of the war who had gone with him. So he talks to Jarmuth, Lachish, Eglon, Hebron. Come near and put your feet upon the necks of these kings. He's going to put his feet on their necks. That's kind of, I don't know what that is. Put your feet on their necks. I don't know exactly what that means. Like stand on, is this like George Floyd shit? Put your feet on the necks of the kings. They came near and put their feet on their necks. And Joshua said to them, do not be afraid or dismayed. Be strong and of good courage, for thus the Lord will do it to all of your enemies against whom you fight. Do not be afraid or dismayed. Be strong and of good courage, for thus the Lord will do to all your enemies against whom you fight. I guess put your foot on their neck. And afterward Joshua smote them and put them to death, and he hung them on 5 trees. Okay, so he killed them all. I'm surprised he's killing king of Hebron. That sounds like, I would think Hebrews are down with the Hebron. They hung up upon the trees till evening. So he lynched the 5 kings. But at the time of the going down of the sun, Joshua commanded, and they took them down from the trees and threw them into the cave where they had hidden themselves. And they set great stones against the mouth of the cave, which remain to this very day. And Joshua took Makkedah on that day and smote it and its king with the edge of the sword. He utterly destroyed every person in it. He left none remaining. He did to the king of Makkedah as he had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua passed on from Makkedah and all Israel with him to Libnah, and fought against Libnah. And the Lord gave it also to the king into the hand of Israel, and he smote it with the edge of the sword, every person in it. He left none remaining in it, as he had done to the king of Jericho. And Joshua passed on from Libnah, all Israel with him, to Lasach, and land siege to it, and assaulted it. And the Lord gave Lasach into the hand of Israel. He took it on the second day, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and every person in it, as he had done to Libnah. Then Haram, the king of Gezer, the king of Gezer. There's not two E's before Z, so I think it's Gezer, not Geezer. I want it to be Geezer, though. It's kind of fun to say. Giza. You're a Giza, mate. You know, Giza. Oh, Giza. Giza. That might be something. Probably not, but I'm going to pretend like it might be something. Gaza. Joshua smote him and his people until he left none remaining. And he passed on with all Israel from Lasach to Eglon, and they laid siege to it, and assaulted it. And they took it on that day, and smote it with the edge of the sword. And every person in it was utterly destroyed that day, as he had done to Lasach. Then Joshua went up with all Israel from Eglon to Hebron, and they assaulted it, and took it, and smote it with the edge of a sword, its king and its towns, and every person left in it, he left none remaining, as he had done to Eglon, and utterly destroyed it with every person in it. Then Joshua, with all Israel, turned back to Debir, D-E-B-I-R, and assaulted it. And he took it with its king and all its towns, and they smote them with the edge of the sword, and utterly destroyed every person in it. He left none remaining, as he had done to Hebron, to Libnah, to its king, so he did to Debir and its king, as he had done to Jericho, as he had done to Hebron, the five kings. He was kind enough after he lynched them, murdered all their people, men, women, and children. He was kind enough after he lynched the rulers to take the kings off the tree and put them in a cave. So that's like what morality is right now. Just utterly destroy every person who doesn't believe in the exact same thing as you with a sword. Then Joshua, with all Israel, turned back to Debir and assaulted it. And he took it with its king and all its towns, and they smote them with the edge of the sword, and utterly destroyed every person in it. He left none remaining, as he done to Hebron and Libnah and its king, so he did to Debir and its king. So Joshua defeated the whole land, the hill country, the Negeb, the lowlands, the slopes, and all their kings. He left none remaining, but utterly destroyed all that breathed, as the Lord God of Israel commanded. And Joshua defeated them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza. This is just Gaza now. And all their country of Goshen, as far as Gibeon. And Joshua took all these kings and their land at one time, because the Lord God of Israel fought for Israel. Then Joshua returned all Israel with him to the camp at Gilgal, back in Gilgal. That's where we started before he killed all these people. Chapter 11, United Kings of Northern Canaan defeated. When Jabin, the king of Hazor, heard of this, he sent Jabab, king of Madon, to the king of Shimron, king of Akshapa, I don't know, A-C-H apostrophe S-H-A-P-H, Akshapa, and the kings who were in the northern hill country, and in the Arabah, south of Chinneroth, in the lowland, and in Naphthdor on the west, to the Canaanites in the east and the west, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites in the hill country, and the Hivites under the Hermon in the land of Mizpah. Sorry for my brutal butchering of these pronunciations. I'm not a... they don't read a lot of Old Testament in the masses I went to. It's mostly New Testament. I don't know a lot of these fun names, but I wish I knew how to pronounce them. I could look it up. I could learn Aramaic. That's actually a better idea than what I'm doing. Maybe I'll do it after. I don't know. I would like to read it and like how it was written. I believe it was written in Hebrew or Aramaic. Those are the two like primary Semitic languages. I wonder when they talk about the Aramea, if that, I think that's just a name and it's coincidental that Aramaic is the same thing. But I was thinking that. But I thought that about Hebron. I was like, oh, they must be Hebrews, Hebron, but no, they murder him. Same Aramaic is probably just a word form, just a name. What's in a name? You know? We got to defeat the northern kings of Canaan. Okay. Arabah south of Chinneroth in the lowland, Naphthor unto the west, to the Canaanites in the east and the west, Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites in the hill country, and the Hivites under Hermon in the land of Mizpah. They came out with all their troops, a great host. He was a great host. He had appetizers. He had he had little smoked salmon creme fraiche on a fucking cracker. In number, like the sand that is upon the seashore, and very many horses and chariots. And all these kings joined their forces and came and encamped together at the waters of Merom, sorry, not Merm. I want it to be like mermaid, to fight with Israel, Ariel. And the Lord said to Joshua, do not be afraid of them under the sea. I want Sebastian from The Little Mermaid to show up. The Lord said to Joshua, don't be afraid of them, for tomorrow at this time I will give over all of them slain to Israel. So you're going to give them dead. You shall hamstring their horses. I don't know what hamstring means as a verb. I've never thought of it. I know what stringing somebody along is, clearly. I don't know how you hamstring something, how you hamstring a horse. I know the muscle. I have very tight hamstrings. I love how all fat people have like the legs of like bodybuilders because they're just carrying around a disgusting amount of obesity. So it's like they're constantly lifting like hundreds of pounds. So it's like it's just funny. But like from the waist down, it's like you're jacked if you're not at all jacked. Anyway, you got to burn their chariots with fire. Hamstring the horses, burn the chariots. Joshua came suddenly upon them with all his people of war by the waters of Merom and fell upon them. And the Lord gave them into the hand of Israel, who smote them and chased them as far as the great Sidon and Misrephoth-maim, and eastward as far as the valley of Mizpah. And they smote him until they left none remaining. And Joshua did to them as the Lord bade him. He hamstrung their horses and burned their chariots with fire. And Joshua turned back at that time and took Hazor, smote its king with the sword, for Hazor formerly was the head of all those kingdoms. And they put the sword all who were in it. They put to the sword all who were in it, and put knee to the sword, utterly destroying them. There was none left that breathed. Murdered everybody. Sweet. Well, it's not murder, I guess, if God tells you to do it, right? Burned Hazor with fire. Just all the cities of those kings, all their kings, Joshua took and smote them with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying them, as Moses, servant of the Lord, had commanded. Moses is dead. I don't know how he commanded that, Josh. I think you're just passing the buck to old Moses. He's not around anymore, Joshua. This is all you, Joshua. But none of the cities that stood on the mounds did Israel burn. Well, he did say, you're the next. He said, you're the next. You're talking to God now. Except Hazor only that Joshua burned. Okay, so he burned Hazor for some reason. He didn't burn any of the other cities. All the spoil of the cities and the cattle the people of Israel took for their booty. But every man they smote with the edge of the sword until they had utterly destroyed them. They did not leave any that breathed. They keep pointing out that. Everybody's dead. As the Lord commanded Moses his servant, so Moses commanded Joshua. Okay, so Moses, This is where we're starting to paraphrase God. God was talking to Moses. Moses is saying, Josh is saying, this is what Moses said God said, and killing people based on that. It gets fun. So Moses commanded Joshua, and so Joshua did. He left nothing undone that all of the Lord had commanded Moses. Summary of Joshua's conquests. So Joshua took all that land, the hill country and the Negev, and all the land of Goshen, and the lowland and the Arabah and the hill country of Israel, and its lowland from Mount Halak that rises towards Seir as far as Baal Gad, in the valley of Lebanon, below Mount Hermon. And he took them, all their kings, and he smote them. Let me guess, put them to the sword. No, put them to death. He doesn't specify if he used the sword to kill them. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. There was not a city that made peace with the people of Israel except the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. They took all in battle. So they're not killing the Hivites. I didn't hear them talk about killing the Jebusites and the Perizzites and the Hittites and the Girgashon. I think we did talk about killing the Girgashon. I don't know. I don't listen to the old ones. For it was doing to harden their hearts that they should come against Israel in battle, in order that they should be utterly destroyed and receive no mercy, but be exterminated, as the Lord commanded Moses. And Joshua came at that time, wiped out the Anakim from the hill country, from Hebron, from Debir, from Nob, from the hill country of Judah, from all the hill country of Israel. Joshua utterly destroyed them with their cities. There was none of the Anakim in the land of the people of Israel, only Gaza and Gath, and Gath, not Goth. I want it to be Goth. And in Ashdod. Ashdod is a fun one. Spoken to Moses, did some remain. So Joshua took the whole land. According to that, the Lord had spoken to Moses, so Joshua gave for inheritance to Israel their tribal allotments, and the land had a rest from war. Oh, peacetime. Nice. Got my pumpkin spice. Hope you're having a good Monday morning. I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad that we keep killing all these races of people with confusing names to pronounce, because I only have to pronounce them once or twice. And then it's like, yeah, put them to the sword. Just murder them. The kings conquered by Moses. Now, these are the kings of land whom the people of Israel defeated and took possession of their land beyond the Jordan toward the sun rising, from the valley of Arnon to Mount Hermon, Arnon to Hermon, with all the Arabah eastward. Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon, ruled from it's like a Tim Allen noise. Aroer, which is on the edge of the valley of Arnon, from the middle of the valley as far as the river Jabbok, the boundary of the Ammonites. That is, not the Amorites, the Ammonites. That is half of Gilead. And the Arabah to the Sea of Chinneroth eastward, in the direction of Beth Jeshimoth. These are tongue twisters. Seashells by the seashore. To the Sea of Arabah, the Salt Sea, southward to the foot of the slopes of Pisgah, and Og, king of Bashan, one of the remnant of Rephaim, who dwelt there at Ashtaroth and Adri, ruled over Mount Hermon, Salakah, and all Bashan to the boundary of the Geshurites, to the Maacathites, and over to half of Gilead to the boundary of Shihon, the king of Heshbon, Moses, the servant of the Lord. And the people of Israel defeated them, and Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave their land for possession to the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of the Manasseh. The kings conquered by Joshua. All These are the kings of the land whom Joshua and the people of Israel defeated on the west side of the Jordan, from Baal-gad to Jordan is the Baal God, in the valley of Lebanon, Mount Halak that rises toward Seir. And Joshua gave their land to the tribes of Israel as a possession according to their allotments, in the hill country and the lowland, in the Arabah and the slopes, in the wilderness, in the Negeb, in the land of the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, Hivites, and the Jebusites. Yeah, bitch, we're back. They're still popping off, these fucking Canaanites, Perizzites, Hittites, Jebusites. We stopped talking about the there's one race that we stopped talking about that we didn't kill. Phoenicians. We didn't kill the Phoenicians. Maybe Josh is going to kill the Phoenicians. I don't remember. King of Jericho, king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, upstate. 1, the king of Jerusalem. 1, the king of Hebron. 1, the king of Jarmuth. 1, the king of Lasich. 1, the king of Eglon. 1, the king of Gezer. 1, the king of Deber. 1, the king of Geder. 1, the king of Hormah. 1, the king of Arad. 1, the king of Libnah. 1, the king of Adullam. 1, the king of Makkedah. 1, the king of Bethel. 1, the king of Tapua. The king of Hepher. The king, 1. You have to say 1 before this. One love, one laugh. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever know. 2 could be something. 1, the king of Aphek. 1, the king of Lashan. 1, the king of Medan. 1, the king of Hazor. 1, the king of Shimron. Shimron is a king? This is my favorite, I think, so far. Shimron. That's just fun. Shimron. 1, the king of Ashpa. 1, the king of Tanash. 1, the king of Megiddo. 1, the king of Kadesh. 1, the king of Jokneam in Carmel. Is it Carmel or Caramel? I don't know. I think you can go either way with Carmel. 1, the king of Dar. Yeah, just Dor. It's 1 O though. Dar. The king of Dor in Naphathor. Dor and Naphathor. So the king of Dor is in Naphathor. He's not in Dor. Maybe he's just like. Anyway, the king of Goyim. King of Goyim in Galilee. Let's first Galilee. 1, the king of Tisra. 1 in all 31 kings I just had to name. Christ. The parts of Canaan still unconquered. Now Joshua was old and advanced in his years, and the Lord said to him, "You are old and advanced in years, and there remains yet very much land to be possessed." Very perceptive, Lord. This is the land that yet remains. All the regions, the Philistines. I know the Philistines are coming back. In all those Geshurites from the Sihor, which is the east of Egypt, northward to the boundary of Ekron, which is reckoned as Canaanite. There's 5 rulers. There are 5 rulers. Philistines. The Philistines have 5 kings too. Those of Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Goth, and Ekron. Those of the Avim in the south. In the land of the Canaanites, in the Mearha, belong to the Sidonians. Yeah, Sidon. And fucking Arizonans. Topaz jewelry. Time vortexes. Desert. To Aphek. OG desert, though. We're not in there. We're not in the States yet. To the boundary of the Amorites. In the land of the Gebalites. In all Lebanon. Toward the sun rising. Donna getting her fucking moment here. Toward the sun rising. From Baal-gad, below Mount Hermon, to the entrance of Hamath, all the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon to Misrephoth-maim. even all the Sidonians. I will drive them out before the people of Israel. Only allot the land to Israel for an inheritance, as I have commanded you. Now therefore divide this land for an inheritance to the 9 tribes and the half tribe of the Manasseh. So it's 10 tribes, but they consider Manasseh, whatever this is, Manasseh, half tribe or half people. They're like, we're kind of down Manasseh, but we partially acknowledge your existence. The territory east of the Jordan, okay, with the other half of the tribe of Manasseh, the Reubenites and the Gadites, received their inheritance which Moses gave them beyond the Jordan eastward, as Moses, servant of the Lord, gave them from Aroer, which is on the edge of the valley Arnon, in the city that is in the middle of the valley, and all the tableland of Medeba, as far as Dibon, and all the cities of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, as far as the boundary of the Ammonites in Gilead, in the region of the Geshurites, in the Maacathites, all of the Mount Hermon, and all of Bashan to Salakah, and all the kingdom of Og in Bashan, who reigned in Asaroth, in Adri. He was left alone, the remnant of Rephaim. Okay, so Adri was alone, was left the remnant of Rephaim. These Moses had defeated and driven out. Yet all the people of Israel did not drive out the Geshurites or the Maacathites, but Geshur and Maacath dwell in the midst of Israel to this day. To the tribe of Levi alone gave no inheritance. The offerings by fire to the Lord God of Israel are inheritance, as he said to him. So the tribe of Israel gave no inheritance. The offerings by fire to the Lord. Yeah, Levi, they hooked Levi up with like a care package instead of killing him, because he's like family. Territory of Reuben, New Orleans, till dawn. It's dawn. As Moses gave an inheritance to the tribe of Reubenites according to their families, so their territory was from Aroer, which is on the edge of the valley Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the valley, and all the tableland of Medeba, with Heshbon and all its cities that are tableland, Dibon, Bamoth Baal. I'm going with Bamoth Baal. Beth Baal Ma'on. Ba'ath Mamal and Beth Baal Ma'on. Gotta love these. Jahaz. Fucking Jahaz is back in the mix. Kedemoth and Mephath, and Kiriathaim, Sibma, and Zereshar on the land of the valley in Beth Peor, in the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Jeshemoth. That lots of Beth showing up. Fucking Beth. Like that Kiss song. All the cities of the tableland, and all the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, whom Moses defeated, the leaders of Midian, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Midian, Evi, and Rechem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba. Reba stick a bowl in water. Reba tie a cable to a tree. Reba stick in again, back to the perfume, the second sound like do. Knee deep in the motel tub. Reba did a little tip. Reba babbled to the nag with the lipstick, perfume, mother to a farmer in a truck. Take a peek at the cheetahs. Peed on the proud to keep sold in water or tight whatever. Bag of tack sold to the butcher. The princess of Shihan, I can't whistle, who dwelt in the land. I want to do the like that whistle, you know. Princes of Sihon who dwelt in the land. Balaam also, the son of Beor, the soothsayer, the people of Israel killed with the sword, with the rest of their slain. In the border of the people of Reuben was the Jordan as the boundary. This was the inheritance of the Reubenites, according to their families, with the cities and villages. Territory of Gad, as Moses gave inheritance also to the tribe of the Gadites, According to their families, their territory was Jazer, in all the cities of Gilead, half the land of the Ammonites, to Aroer, which is east of Rabbah, from Heshbon to Ramoth Mizpah, in Betonim, and Mahanaim, to the territory of Deber, in the Debir, maybe it's like the diamonds, in the valley of Beth Haram, having the Jordan as a boundary, to the lower end of the Sea of Chinneroth, eastward beyond the Jordan. This is the inheritance of the Gadites, according to their cities and villages. The territory of the half-tribe of Manasseh, east. So he has to describe what's below this, what's above this, what's left this, what's right this. And everybody's names. I assume all these people will be dead soon, so I won't have to keep pronouncing Beth Peor or whatever the fuck. When Moses gave an inheritance to the half-tribe of the Manasseh, it was, why are they a half-tribe? I don't understand how you can be a half-tribe. Or maybe I do understand and I'm frustrated by it. Moses gave an inheritance to the half-tribe of Manasseh. It was allotted to the half-tribe of the Manassites, Mexican apples, according to their families. The region extended from Mahanaim through all Bashan, the whole kingdom of Og and Bashan, all the towns of Jair, which are Bashan, 60 cities, and half Gilead, and Ashtaroth, and Adri, and the cities of the kingdom Og in Bashan. These were allotted to the people of Mashir and the Manasseh for half of the Macharites according to their families. These are the inheritances which Moses distributed in the plains of Moab, beyond the Jordan, east of Jericho. But to the tribe of Levi, Moses gave no inheritance. The Lord God of Israel is their inheritance, he said to them. So Levi, you just get God. You don't get a place. The distribution of territory west of the Jordan. I was wondering what's going on over there. We already talked about up here, over here, down here. I was like, what's going on? Here we go. All these inheritance, which the people of Israel received in the land of Canaan, where Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of fathers' houses of the tribes the people of Israel distributed to them. Their inheritance was by lot, as the Lord had commanded Moses for the 9 1/2 tribes. I just find it funny that they're like, it's kind of a tribe. For Moses had given an inheritance to the 2 1/2 tribes beyond the Jordan, 2.5 tribes. But the Levites, he gave no inheritance among them. Yeah, their inheritance is God. You keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Old Testament. No wonder people don't read you. For the people of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. No portion was given to the Levites, but only cities to dwell in, with the pasture lands for their cattle and their substance. The people of Israel did as the Lord commanded Moses. They allotted the land. Hebron allotted to Caleb. Then the people of Judah came to Joshua at Gilgal. Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Kenizzite, said to him, "You know what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, in Kadesh Barnea, concerning you and me. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me to Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought with him word again as it was in my heart. I brought him word again as it was in my heart. But my brethren who went up with me made the heart of the people melt. Yet I wholly followed the Lord my God." And Moses swore on that day, saying, "Surely the land on which your foot has trodden shall be an inheritance for you and your children forever, because you have wholly followed the Lord my God. And now, behold, the Lord has kept me alive." And he said, "These 45 years since the time that the Lord spoke this word to Moses while Israel walked in the wilderness, and now, lo, I am this day 85 years old. I am still strong to this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. My strength now is as my strength was for then, for war, for going and coming. I don't know, 85, you're as strong as you were when you were chilling with Moses, dude. That seems like a maybe the favor of the Lord is that powerful that he's 85 and he's still putting swords to half tribes. So now give me this hill country of which the Lord spoke on that day, for you have heard on that day how the Anakim were there, with fortified cities. It may be that the Lord will be with me, and I shall drive them out, as the Lord said. Then Joshua blessed him. He gave Hebron to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, as an inheritance. So Hebron became the inheritance of Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and the Kenizzites to this day, because he wholly followed the Lord, the God of Israel. And the name of Hebron formerly was Kiriath-arba. This Araba was the greatest man among the Anakim, and the land had rest from war. Peacetime. It's nice. I wonder, like, don't they all get God's favor? Why does Levi not get land? That seems mean. He's like, yeah, you have God. It's like, we all have God. That's why we get land, because we have God. That's the point of getting God, is to get the land. You're just going to be like, you all get land and God. You get just God. You're kind of a tribe. Weird, hard to pronounce. Manasha. The territory of Judah. The lot for the tribe of the people of Judah, according to their families, reached southward to the boundary of Edom, to the wilderness of Zin at the farthest south, and their south boundary from the land of the Salt Sea, from the bay that faces southward, goes southward at the ascent of Akrabim. There's an apostrophe between two B's. Passes along to Zin and goes up to the Kadesh Barnea along with Hezron up to Adar, turns about to Karka, passes along to Asmon, goes out by the brook of Egypt, and comes to its end at the sea. This shall be your south boundary, and the east boundary is the Salt Sea, the mouth of the Jordan, and the boundary on the north side, from the bay of the sea at the mouth of the Jordan. The boundary goes up to Beth Hoglah, passes along the north of the Beth Araba, and the boundary goes up to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben. The boundary goes up to Deber in the valley of Echor, so northward, turning toward Gilgal, which the opposite of the ascent of the Adumim, which is on the south side of the valley, and the boundary passes along the waters of the En-Shemesh, at the ends of the Enrogel. Then the boundary goes up by the valley of the son of Hinnom at the southern shoulder of the Jebusite, that is Jerusalem. Okay, so we're the southern shoulder of the Jebusite. And the boundary goes up to the top of the mountain that lies over him in the valley of Hinnom on the west, at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. Then boundary extends from the top of the mountain to the spring waters of Nephtoah. From there exist the cities of the Mount Ephron. Then the boundary bends to Baalah. That is Kiriath Jearim. And the boundary circle is west of Baalah to Mount Seir and passes along the northern shoulder of Mount Jearim, that is Chesalon, and goes down to Beth Shemesh, passes along by Timnah. The boundary goes out to the shoulder, the hill north of Ekron. Then the boundary bends round to Shikeron, passes along to Mount Baalah, goes to Jabneel. Then the boundary, I was wondering where else this boundary goes, comes to an end at the sea. And the west boundary was the Great Sea with its coastline. That is the boundary round or about the people of Judah according to their families. Okay, Caleb occupies his portion. According to the commandment of the Lord Joshua, he gave to Caleb the son of Jephunneh a portion among the people of Judah, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron. Kiriath Arba is kind of fun once you get it. Arba, the father of Anak, and Caleb drove out from there the three sons of Anak. Shishahai. I thought they were saying she. Why would we be talking about property having agency? No, it's Shishai, LaBeouf. Shishai, Shishos by the seashore. Shishai. And Ahiman. Maybe this is just a dude who loves some fresh tune. So I have to abbreviate 2-syllable words while I'm taking forever to read 4-syllable words that have no need to. To make a pun about ahi tuna. That was my joke. That was your joke, guys. That's the funny part. Now we just read the Bible. Okay. Caleb said, whoever smites Kiriath Shapur, take him, and I will give an Ashsa, my daughter, his wife. I'm gonna give him Ashsa. And Othniel, son of Kenaz, brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave Asha his daughter's wife. And when she came to him, she urged him to ask her father for a field. She lighted her from her ass. Oh God, she got off a donkey, guys. Don't get too excited. Caleb said to her, "What do you wish?" She said to him, "Give me a present. Since you've set me in the land of Negeb, give me also springs of water." And Caleb gave her the upper springs and lower springs. Poland Springs, what it means to be from Maine. Maine right now, guys. Maine. It's my main man, dude. Towns of Judah. This is inheritance of the tribe, the people of Judah according to their families. The cities belonging to the tribe of the people of Judah in the extreme south, toward the boundary of Edom, were Kabzeel. I think that's the first Kabzeel. I don't remember pronouncing Kabzeel. Kabzeel? Eder, Jagar, Kina, Dinoma, Adada, Kadesh, Hazor, Ethnan, Ziph, Telem, Baaloth, Hazor Hadatta, Kirioth Hezron, that is Hazor. Why are you telling me Kirioth Hezron is Hazor? If you could just say Hazor, make it easier on me, guys. Emam, Shema, Molada, Hazargada, Hazargada is how I'm going. Heshmon. I wonder if Heshmon's been to Heshbon. Beth Palat, there's a third Beth. Hazar Shual, Beersheba, Biziothia, Ba'ala, Aim, Yim, Ezem, Eltalad, Chesel, Horma, Ziklag, Madman, Nah. This guy's name is Madman apostrophe Nah. That should be my name. Madman? No. Sasana. Sasanana. I don't know if you could do, when they do the end, you do na? Do you go Masanana? Madmanana? Sasanana? Or do you go Sasana? If they put an apostrophe in between two consonants, I assume you're supposed to pronounce an additional time. Lebaoth, Shilem, Ain, and Ramon. Raise Ramon, dude. In all, 29 cities with their villages. You couldn't get a fucking 30th city in there? Come on. You're fucking up my number system, Bible. In the lowland, Eshtaol, Zora, Ashna, Zanur, Engenim, Tapua, Enam, Jarmuth, Aldalam, Saka, Azaka, Sha'arim, Adithaim, Gederathaim, 14 cities and their villages. Zenon, Hadasha, Migdalgad, Dilian, Mezpah, Joktheel, Lasich, Bozkath, Eglon, Kabon, Lamam, Shitlish, Gederoth, Beth Dagon, Naaman, Makeda, 16 cities with all their villages. Okay, so that's the lowlands. This is, I guess, the highlands. There's more. I don't know which is which. Libna, Ether, Ashan, Iftah, Ashna, Nezib, Keilah, Akzib, and Marasha. 9 cities with their villages. Ekron, with its towns and villages from Ekron the sea, all that were the side of Ashdod and their villages. Ashdod and its town, its villages. Gaza, its town and villages. To the brook of Egypt, to the Great Sea, with its coastline. It's got waterfront property here, guys. The hill country. Shamir. Hi. Well, everyone is minus. You can call me Multiply. Just so you know, yes, I'm that guy. Jatir, Saka, Dana, Kiriathsana, that is Debir, Deber. I like Kiriathsana better than Deber. Usually I like the shorter one just because I don't know how to pronounce any of these, but I have fun mispronouncing Kiriathsana. Sanaa. Anab, Eshtema, Anim, Goshen, Holon, and Gilah. 11 cities with their villages. Arab, Duma, Ishan, Janim, Beth Tupua, Afaka, Humta, Kiriath Araba, that is Hebron, and Zior, 9 cities with their villages. Maon, Carmel, Ziph, Judah, Jezreel, Jokdeam, Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Tinna, 10 cities with their villages. Halhul, Bethzor, Gedor, Merath, Bethanoth, and Eltikon, 6 cities with their villages. Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages. In the wilderness, 2 cities, 3 names. One of the cities is 2 cities. In the wilderness, Beth Arabah, Medin, Sekha, Nibshan, City of Salt, and Engediah, 6 cities with their villages. I hope we don't talk about Engedi more. It's EN''GED''I. But the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, people of Judah could not drive out, so the Jebusites dwelt with the people of Judah at Jerusalem till this day. I wish you had just said that, and I didn't have to read all those. Territory of Ephraim. The allotment of the descendants of Joseph went from Jordan to Jericho, east of the waters of Jericho, into the wilderness, going up from Jericho into the hill country to Bethel. Then, going from Bethel to Luz, it passes along Ataroth in the territory of the Archites. Then it goes down westward toward the territory of Jophletites, as far as the territory of Lord Beth Horon, then to Gezer. It ends at the sea. The people of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim received their inheritance. The territory of the Ephraimites by their families was as follows. The boundary of their inheritance on the east was Adaroth Adar, as far as upper Beth Horon, and the boundary goes thence to the sea. On the north is the Mikmethoth, and then on the east of the boundary turns round toward Ta'anath Shiloh, Shiloh, and passes along beyond it, the east of Jana'ah. Then it goes up from Jana'ah to Adaroth to Naharar, touches Jericho, ending at Jordan. From Tapua, the boundary goes westward to the brook of Kana, to the brook of Kana, and ends at the sea. Such is the inheritance of the tribe of Ephraimites by their families, together with the towns which were set apart for the Ephraimites, within the inheritance of the Manassites, and all these towns with their villages. However, they did not drive out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer. So the Canaanites have dwelt in the midst of Ephraim to this day, but have become slaves to do forced labor. Other half-tribe, the Manasseh. Then the allotment was the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph. The Mashir, firstborn of Manasseh, father of Gilead, was allotted Gilead and Bashan because he was a man of war. His allotments were made to the rest of them by Manasseh, by their families. Abiezer, Helek, Asriel, Shechem, Hefer, and Shemida. These were the male descendants of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, by their families. Now Zelophehad, the son of Hefer, son of Gilead, son of Mashir, son of Manasseh, but had no sons, only properties. But these are the names of his daughters. Oh, we're getting daughter names. Mala, Noah. Noah's his daughter. Hoglah, Milcah, and Tisra. They came before Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, leaders, and said, "The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance along with our brethren." So according to the commandment, the Lord he gave them their inheritance among the brethren of their father. Thus fell to the Manasseh 10 portions, beside the Gilead and Bashan, which is on the other side of the Jordan, because the daughters of the Manasseh received an inheritance along with his sons. The land of Gilead was allotted to the rest of the Manassites. I don't understand why they're a half tribe. They get a lot of shit. They get more than the Levites. Fucking Levites are full tribe, I think, and they get nothing. The Manasseh are half, and they're like fucking popping off right now, dude. Territory of the Manasseh reached from Asher to Mikmathoth, which is east of Shechem. Then the boundary goes along southward to the inhabitants of En-Tappuah. The land of Tappuah belonged to the Manasseh. The town of Tappuah on the boundary of the Manasseh belonged to the sons of Ephraim. Then the boundary went down to the brook of Kanah. The cities here, to the south of the brook, among the cities of Manasseh, belong to Ephraim. The boundary of Manasseh goes to the north side of the brook and ends by the sea. The land of the south being Ephraim's, and the north being Manasseh, with its sea forming its boundaries. On the north, Asher is reached. On the east, Issachar. Also in Issachar and in Asher's, Manasseh had Beth-shean and its villages, Ibleam and its villages, and the inhabitants of Dor and its villages, and the inhabitants of Endor. Endor is in the Bible. I need a vape jewel for Endor being in the Bible. Got Wookiees. Is that the Wookiee one? I think it is. If Chewbacca shows up, I'm suing George Lucas. Hey, George Lucas. American Graffiti was ahead of its time. And I saw you once at a Barnes & Noble in Larkspur. And I heard from a rumor from my friend Adam, like the one in California, that he saw you getting jerked off at an Asian massage parlor, George Lucas. That's hearsay, though. Because in order to know that, he had to be at an Asian jerk-off massage parlor. He probably just saw a dude that looked like George Lucas. But he was in Larkspur. So he might have, because Skywalker Ranch is in Ross. And George Lucas seems like the type of dude who would. I don't know. I don't know what type of dude he seems like. Also in Ishakar and Asher, Endor and its villages. The inhabitants of Ta'anak and its villages, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and its villages, the third Nephoth. Yet the sons of Manasseh could not take possession of those cities, but the Canaanites persisted in dwelling in that land. But when the people of Israel grew strong, they put the Canaanites to forced labor and did not utterly drive them out. So he made them slaves, he didn't kill them or get rid of them. Tribes of Joseph protests. Ooh, people out in the streets, guys. There's a war outside. There's a war outside. And the tribe of Joseph spoke to Joshua, saying, "Why have you given me but one lot, and one portion as an inheritance, although I am a numerous people, since hitherto the Lord has blessed me?" Joshua said to them, "If you are numerous people, go up to the forest. There clear the ground for yourselves in the land of the Perizzites, the land of Rephaim, since the hill country of Ephraim is too narrow for you." The tribe of Joseph said, "The hill country is not enough for us, yet all the Canaanites who dwell in the plain have chariots of iron, both those in Bethshan and its villages in the valley of Jezreel." Then Joshua said to the house of Joseph, to Ephraim, to Manasseh, "You are numerous people and have great power. You shall not have one lot only." Yeah, facts. "But the hill country shall be yours. For it is a forest, though it's a forest, you shall clear it, and possess to its farthest borders. You shall drive out the Canaanites, though they have chariots of iron, though they are strong." Okay, so he's like, you have to fight the Canaanites for their shit, even though they have more stuff than you. I think is what this is saying, but like that's what Josh is telling Joe. Then the whole congregation, this is the territories of the remaining tribes. Then the whole congregation of the people of Israel assembled at Shiloh and set up a tent of meeting there. The land lay subdued before them. There remained among the people of Israel 7 tribes whose inheritance had not yet been appointed. So Joshua said to the people of Israel, "How long you be slack? Go in and take possession of the land, which the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you. Provide 3 men from each tribe, and I will send them out, that they may set out and go up and down the land, writing a description of it, with a view to their inheritances, and then come up to me. They shall divide into 7 portions, Judah continuing in his territory on the south, the house of Joseph in their territory on the north. And you shall describe the land in 7 divisions, and bring the description here to me. I will cast lots for you, here before the Lord our God. The Levites have no portion among you." Screw in the Levites, "for the priesthood of the Lord is their heritage." But isn't that everybody's heritage, including the people you're giving the land to? Joshua, in Gad and Reuben, half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance from beyond the Jordan eastward, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them. So the men started on their way. And Joshua charged those who went to write a description of the land, saying, "Go up and down and write a description of the land, and come to me again. I will cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh." So the men went and passed up and down the land and set down in a book of description of it by towns in 7 divisions. Then they came to Joshua in the camp at Shiloh, and Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. Joshua appointed the lands to the people of Israel, each his portion. I don't think we have time to talk about Ben's territory yet, because I'm trying to do an hour a day, so we get through this pretty systematically. And it'll take me more than 50 seconds to describe that. So, Shabbat Shalom, praise Jesus. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Give me that old time religion, that old time religion, that old time religion. It's good enough for me. It was good for my mother. It was good for my mother. It was good for our mothers. It's good enough for me. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Have a wonderful week.